Hi, good morning. It is Saturday, January 11th in the morning, and I'm doing a reflection for A Course in Miracles on day 10's lesson, which is lesson 10. And it says, "My thoughts do not mean anything." And if you've seen the other videos, this was one of the earlier ones, but it's like a revisited version of this. And it's slightly different. It's not like it's not talking about this. The only okay, here, let me read it so I could put it into the words, not my own, because I haven't had my wake up juice yet. This time the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts. So it's like it's the little flip of the switch there. And now we're emphasizing that the presence of these thoughts means that you are not thinking. And so, long story short, eventually the idea is like we'll start to recognize when we're what true emptiness is, without thoughts. And so, what it says is sit, for that minute and think, just notice what thoughts are coming through, and then say, okay, my thought about blank, XYZ, does not mean anything. My thought about drinking this coffee to get awake doesn't mean anything. And then it says to say, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. And so again, it's like diving deeper on that, like, dismantling like this like grip that our thoughts have on us, that we allow them to have on us. Because like we're identified with thoughts our whole life, like our whole life. And what for me with this lesson, what I really noticed was when I sat and really just noticed thoughts, and then eventually they would just like stop coming as quickly once I repeated that. And then it just naturally, my awareness shifted more to like my sensory inputs, which was audible, because my eyes were closed. So then I noticed sounds over here, over there, and then they sort of started to meld together like into just one soundscape, where I didn't focus on where they were coming from. At some level I still knew like what the sound was, like, oh, the washing machine, oh, my little heater, oh, the cat pawing at the door, Matt making noise upstairs in the kitchen. He's making okay, don't laugh, we're not like, we weren't first on this train, but he's making avocado toast. We love it. It's a trend for a reason. It is so good. And we don't have good avocados, so we buy this store that's like in a tub, and we finally found one that's like passable, decent. And so he's just like, he comes down and he's like, do you think I should butter the toast first or just put it right on there? I'm like, yeah, you probably don't want to butter it first. It'll just get soggy, and you want that crisp, like toasty with the, crunch with the avocado spread on top. That does sound good now. He's like, do you want me to make you one? I'm like, I can't even have my coffee. I can't even think about breakfast. That comes like hours later for me. So anyway, he was part of that soundscape, which obviously it brought a lot of smile to my face. So there's a lot of meaning there for me. Like, oh, just like him being happy with it's Saturday and it's early and we have the whole day to ourselves. And I just love when he's happy, and like when we don't have commitments, because his whole life has been about commitments. 3 kids and just a big job and like family and everything, and so like it makes me happy when I hear sounds that I know are his being and his happiness. So like eventually all of that faded into this just neutral soundscape. And then I realized my awareness was just like behind the eyes, like this light. You can see it now, like this light that's the starscape, the moving lights. They would hit my eyelids in a certain way, a certain pattern. and then the soundscape and the heat, the feeling of the heat when it kicks on. And then I noticed that even thoughts about those feelings and sounds started to fade, because I noticed like, oh, there is a little thought about those, like, that's nice, that's pleasant, you know. And then that started to fade. And so I may have sat with it over a minute, you know, each time, because it's like, where are we going with this? And then eventually I did start to sense that, and I caught myself. I was like, there's some emptiness here. When I'm just sitting in the senses, and then the thoughts about the sensations start to fade, and you're just existing. And what it felt like was like I don't want to say this, but I'll say it for context. Like, it felt like I was in outer space, like floating in a void in a way, but it wasn't a lonely feeling. It wasn't scary. It was just like I was starting to become more expansive, like in all of my awareness, physical and otherwise, just almost like dissolving a little bit. And then I'm like, oh gosh, is this part of that inkling of a no self feeling they talk about in non-duality, and you know, this pathless path. And then so then I open my eyes, and I just kind of slowly look around at all my, just an insane amount of stuff, and I just realized, okay, yeah, these things don't mean anything. I'm not getting an emotional charge over them, like, oh, I love my little babies. No, it was just like, and then I became curious about, there's this one that has, I'll flip it around. This one has like its top card is slightly shifted to the left. So you can see, like, and I feel like that forever. Just like, having no thoughts about it, but it held me in captivity, like the emptiness of it all. But I was captivated. It was weird. And then I started to look around the room, and that neutrality still remained, like, curious. And then I started to get a feeling where it was self. And it was like, oh my God, I have too many things. If these things don't mean anything, I have too many of them. Like, I just had this feeling, and it wasn't supercharged. It was just like, I don't need any of this. It was sort of like just a neutral realization, like, take it or leave it. I don't feel a clinging or an avoidance. It was just like a realization, like, there's a lot of things. They don't mean anything. I sat with that, like, yeah, take it or leave it. I love that feeling. Like, here I'm clinging to that feeling of not having feelings. This stuff is slippery, isn't it? It's like, it's kind of that nice feeling of like, it's not attachment, guys. Duh. That's what it's all about. Part of it, I'm assuming, what it's all about. It's like not attaching to thoughts because they don't mean anything. And they're all about the past anyway. All we have is the present. And the present is like pure emptiness / pure potential. To do that. Did it scare you? I'm sorry. So anyway, that's my little reflection on lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. Redux. Is that how you say it when they say, when you revisit something in like film and they REDUX? Is it like the redux? Wait, so it's slightly different? Resurrected but different? I don't know if that's what that means. Or how you say it. Redo? Is it French? I don't know. Anyway, I think that's really all I have for this one. Might be my shortest one, you guys. You're welcome. I'm gonna drink my coffee. There's a lot of little things I need to get done today for packing for this trip. And that's my main thought is like, trying not to overpack. Trying not to overpack. So what I do is I throw it all in and then I start stripping it away. Because that feels good, you know? It's like, it's not the like starting minimally and then being like, what did I forget? It's like starting with everything and then being like, yeah, these don't mean anything. I don't need to take them with me. Take it or leave it. Just leave it. There's not enough room in my bag. Oh, anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.